Hello everyone, welcome to the Python Object and Data Structure Basics. In this lecture, we're going to be talking about the basic data type. And this section of this course, we will cover the key data types in Python. These are going to be your building blocks when constructing larger piece of code. So it's very important to understand the key data types we have in Python. Let's quickly discuss all of the possible data types, then we will have lectures that go into more details about each one of them. This is an overview of all the basic data types we have in Python, from integer to floating point to string to lists, dictionaries, tuples, set and booleans. But now that we have an overview of everything, let's go ahead to take a look at them in details. First, we have the integers, and basically, the integers is represented by a type of int in Python. And when you see an int in Python, it means it's an whole number. So basically 300, 200 are whole numbers, which is referred to as integer in Python. Next, we have the floating point number. Floating point is represented by a type of float, and floating point numbers are basically numbers with a decimal point. So example is going to be 2.3, 4.6, 100.0. This is an example of a floating point number in Python. In some other programming language, it's always referred to as double, but for Python, it's represented as a float. Next, we have the string data type, and string data type are basically ordered sequence of character. Example, we have hello, Sammy, 2000, and also we can have a Chinese word as far as it's inside string, then it is an example of a string type in Python. Next, we have lists, and lists are ordered sequence of objects that is always inside a square bracket. So for this example, we have 10, which is an integer. We have string, which is saying hello, and we also have a floating point number, which is 200.3. And basically, a list can contain different data types, right? We can have integers, we can have float, and we can also have string inside the list. Next, we also have a dictionary, which is represented as DICT in Python. And dictionaries are unordered key value pairs. What do I mean by this? When you want to create a dictionary, it is always stored inside a curly brace, followed by the key and the value. So for this example, we have my key and we also have value. The next one is we have a key of name and we also have a value of Frankie. And this is an example of how dictionary is stored in Python. And in our upcoming lectures, we're going to dive deeper into these data types that we have in Python. Next, we also have tuples. And tuples are ordered immutable sequence of objects, which is always inside a parenthesis. So for this example, we have 10, hello, 200.3. And when we say something is immutable, that means we can't modify that particular sequence of objects when we've created it. Next, we also have sets. And sets are an ordered collection of unique objects. And they're always inside a curly brace with just their value inside them. Last, we also have booleans, which is represented as bool. And booleans are basically logical value indicating either a statement is true or false. And one thing to take note of is when you are writing a boolean, it always starts with a capital letter T and capital letter F. In other programming language, they represent boolean as small letter TRUE and also small letter FALSE. So if you try to do that in Python, you're going to come up with a logical error or a syntax error. Now that we have the basic understanding of the different data types that we have in Python, let's go ahead to explore them into more details. In our next lecture, we're going to be talking about numbers in Python. See you there.